I think all of us, especially when we're bumping up against new territory, is this safe? Is this okay? Is this legal? Is this biblical? And of course, then we see some new verses, new scripture that says it seems to say that, but am I skewing my interpretation of that? Am I going off on a tangent? Am I in dangerous territory? Those are terrible, plaguing thoughts for the unseasoned and, how should I say it? People who have not trained their hearts to hear from the Spirit man. Because if all you have is your brain to process these things, then you can chase your tail. You can wear yourself out trying to figure out, is this good? Is this bad? I need to be careful or not? And I believe that one of the safeguards, maybe if I could be so bold, and I may change my mind, but I think one of the primary safeguards of the territory that we're going in is my heart still tender? Do I still melt at the presence of the Lord? Do I still tremble? This is Isaiah 66, verse 2. God says, verse 1 says, heaven's my throne, earth my footstool, but who will build a resting place for me? Verse 2 says, but to this one will I look. Now, who is it that God looks to? Who is it that catches his eye? To him who is humble and contrite and who trembles at my word. Now, I've appreciated the Toronto shaking, and I'd like to do a whole lot more of that kind of trembling, shaking in the natural and physical expression. I love it. I wish I'd do more. But I think it even has a more visceral, more innate, more internal kind of application or interpretation, and that is, do you melt at his voice? Does your heart just say, yes, Abba, this is all I want? Like Peter, Jesus, there's nobody else. But it's not even a resignation kind of like that, you're my last choice. It's way better, it's way deeper, it's way more organic than that. It's like, Jesus, anytime I come away from those other voices and I come in and I hear your voice, oh, that's life. Nobody awakens my heart like you do. So, to me, one of the strongest safeguards that we could ever have to know whether or not we're in good territory is to know whether or not my heart is still tender towards the Lord. So let me unpack that just a little bit. I think it's possible. We're still human in one part of our being. It's possible for us to go off on a tangent. History has proved that. Many, many a good man and woman have done that. So there's no guarantee that we wouldn't get distracted on some shiny new object and go down a path. Get distracted by a squirrel. There he goes. Let's chase him for a while. But when you get off on a path, we all know this to be true, we get off on a tangent away from the vine, away from the life source. After a while, our battery gets depleted. You and I don't have the capacity to be self-sufficient. Oh, we can run on some steam we've stored up for a while, momentum or battery charge for a little while. But it don't take long that there is this sense of, oh, something's missing. I chased a shiny new object, and it was fun for a second, or a week, or maybe a month. But something's missing. What is that? And something says, I've got to go back and find that life-giving organic source. Bill Johnson says it this way. I love this quote. I've heard him say it a number of times, and I've said it way more than I've ever heard him say it because it rings so true to me. He says, when I'm more than 2 weeks away from tears, I know what I have to do. Oh, I think that melts my Father's heart that he says, okay, so it's 2 weeks now. Someday it's going to be like an hour. And then after that, it's going to be like 2 minutes. But the point is, there is a hook in our jaw. There's an anchor. There's an indelible hook in our hearts that says, I must have the presence of my Father. And so that, to unpack that phrase or that quote is that what he's saying is that when I've got out chasing a shining new object for so long that there's no tears, when I've got on a tangent or when I've gotten distracted, when I've busied my mind and my soul, and maybe my soul is being bruised and gotten dusty, and I don't feel the tears, then it's time to do what? Say, time out, time out. I've got to get back to where there's fresh, organic tears flowing. Now, I don't know, that may not be exactly your cup of tea. It may not exactly fit your DNA, your personality, the package called you, but there's something in there that I think we can glean from, and it really resonates. It's part of my basic MO, literally. I mean, I'd love to tell you a story that happened just last week after we had Zoom and school on Saturday, and I was feeling a little dry, like a little spent. I went out Sunday morning on my prayer trail on a special mission. To do what? Oh, to recultivate those tears. And doggone it if I didn't bump into them. And then Monday, I went out, and sometime along the way I'll tell that story. But then on Monday I went out to follow up on it, and they were there again. And it became a major, well, let's say a pretty significant revelatory experience to me that opened up a new door in the heavenlies. So what is it that pulls us and drives us and keeps us safe? I think it is being, can I say, honest, maybe even ruthless with ourselves. How's my heart? Is my heart still tender? I've been going after a shiny new object. Is this shiny object the same as Jesus? Is it part of Jesus? Is it another facet of Jesus that only endears my heart more to him? Or is it this kind of just, brainiac new thought? This new kind of soulish whatever, or something that just is the fruit of man's cunning and devices. Have I chased that for a while? And of course, it does not have the capacity to produce life. And so, to boil it all down is, how long's it been since I had tears? Well, I guess I'd have to say it in the last couple of minutes. But the question, I literally asked myself this question. I guarantee I've asked myself this question countless times in the last 25, 30 years. This is one of my bottom line questions, to know whether or not my soul is in health and my body's in health and my spirit man is being set free to lead me and guide me. Do I still have tears? So I'll just ask you that question. You don't have to answer that question. But how's it going for you in the department of tears? If those tears are an evidence that my heart is coming in this synergistic koinonia, fellowship of oneness, being homogenized together with my God, you can guarantee that's where life is flowing. And if I haven't had tears, then maybe I need to go back to that. Find that place again.